Welcome back to the Hot Spot with Cameron. And today we have a very, very special show because the Detroit Lions are the NFC champions, number one seed with the bye. I went to that game, and Minnesota, Sam Donald, and their defense were lackluster. So, getting into that, I have a special guest today, and this special guest, he's been a Kansas City fan as long as I've known him. I guess he's from Kansas. I know he's from Kansas City. So I guess it's inevitable. He has a very unique story about how he knew they were going to win the Super Bowl back to back. But then also, he's going to talk about how they have a chance to do something very special. And we're going to discuss that with him. He's a writer, a novelist. He's got some really good books out. Cyril Day is his main character in some of those books. He also is a college graduate, went to Grambling State with me. I've known him for that long. We talk football. We talk life. We talk about a lot of different things, but also he's very achieved. I'd have to say that in his field. And it's a pleasure to have him on the show. His name is Che Parker. Welcome, Che Parker, to the Hot Spot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy
How
to
you
be
doing,
here.
my man? It's
I'm
been a
doing
while.
well.
Been a
It has
while,
been a
man. But it's
while.
good
It
to
has been
see
a
you,
while.
man. Couple more grays, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know,
A little less
yeah,
on the
yeah.
top sometimes. Don't worry, you look
They're
good though. You know what I'm saying?
adding up. A little bit
Yeah.
more salt and pepper these days.
There you go, a little bit more salt and pepper. I get that, man. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Half a bill almost, right?
Yep, getting up there, man. A couple more years away, and I'll be there.
Yeah. So, I feel like we talked a little bit earlier, and hey, good. I want to say, congratulations on everything, man. All the
Thank you.
achievements and all the things
Thank you.
doing in your life, man. And uh, I'm gonna make sure that we talk about everything that you got going on. But first things first.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier. I said this earlier for the people that might have seen my promo for this show. Uh, Do you have doubts that y'all can make it to that third Super Bowl?
Nah. Nah.
Okay.
What are we
I felt
talking?
like you. I felt like you said it earlier, but I ain't trying to put you on the spot. But so,
No,
what
it's
do you think?
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
ha-
fine. What do you think? What do you think the keys? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
saying I see what y'all
Yeah.
did already
Right.
with resting Patrick and a lot of
Yeah.
you guys is
Yeah.
um, guys for that
Right.
last game,
Right.
which actually kicked Joe Burrow out of the playoffs.
Well, yeah,
Um,
there's that.
but then you also gave, I want to say, not the Chargers. I think the Chargers were
Denver.
already going to make it.
Denver. We got
Yeah,
Denver
you
got
guys
in.
gave Bo Nix and Denver a whole new
Yeah.
boost. Is that because
Yeah.
y'all know y'all was going to kick the living mess out of them if y'all face them, or? Oh, so
Well,
what do you think the
yeah.
keys to that is? What do you think the keys to getting to that third Super Bowl are for you
So
or
yeah.
for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, right? And first let me say to the introduction, yes. I'm born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be very clear about that, all right?
All
Because
right.
you
Very
know,
clear. Very clear.
no, and the only reason I say this, I meet people all the time like, oh, you're what's it called? A bandwagon fan just because you got Mahomes and now you're a Chiefs fan. I'm like, nah, bro. I was back there back in the day when we had Steve DeBerg, Elvis Gerback. Like people don't even know those players. You know what I
Andre
mean?
Rison. I gotta get my Andre Rison,
Right,
Bad
for
Moon Rising in
sure.
there, bro.
Michigan State, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, gotta get him in there.
Yeah, it's all love. So I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah. I remember the days when we weren't winning anything and when we were close. Honestly,
With the nightmare,
yeah.
y'all with
Oh,
the
Christian Okoye, Barry Word, like, come on, I
yeah,
go back in the
y'all
day,
had some squads now.
and that was the bad part, right? It would be one thing
Mhm.
if we were consistently horrible, then you just kind of get used to that, right? Like being maybe a Browns fan or something, right? But like
Don't throw them under the bus.
Browns fans catching strays real quick,
Hey,
but
Ohio,
I
Michigan's
mean,
toilet.
there's that, right?
Yeah, there's
But
that.
the bad part was we were good, right? So we would
Right.
win we would have good seasons and get a playoff appearance and then lose the playoffs.
Mhm.
So that was even worse than being a horrible team, is being good but not good enough to win playoff games, right? So I remember before we got Patrick Mahomes and got on a roll with Andy Reid being like, in my lifetime, we're never going to see a Super Bowl. We're never going to. It's been
Wow.
50
Never say
years.
never, Shay.
I'm just being honest,
I understand how you felt. I
being
got it. I got it.
transparent, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're never going to Super Bowl. It's been 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, we get this kid, Patrick Mahomes, which, by the way, at the time, Deshaun Watson was the quarterback who was available. And a whole lot of Chiefs fans were like, man, like, we want this Watson kid. He's coming out of Clemson. He's winning games, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder why it was winning
we,
games.
well, we dodged that massage bullet. We dodged that sensual massage.
Right? Hey, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, to each his own, man. I can't knock that man for trying to steal his bike. You know what I mean? Anyway, I mean, he's winning games behind it. Go ahead, man. I ain't even going to go into that no more. I'm let you finish.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock him. So, anyway, we get Mahomes. He sat the first year behind Alex Smith. He's sitting. And big shout out to Alex Smith for truly giving his knowledge and his expertise to Patrick and like bringing him up, right? And telling him how to work as a professional, how to go about his business. And anyway.
And that's a great point and great recognition. Continue.
Oh, big time. So Mahomes played one game his rookie year. The last game, it was in Denver, and he was slanging the ball, just like deep shots, throwing the ball on the rope, arm like a cannon. And I remember watching that game being like, oh, he's going to be a problem. And so the first year he started, 5,000 plus yards, 50 touchdown passes, broke multiple NFL records, MVP, went to the Super Bowl. Actually, his rookie year, we lost to Tom Brady in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game.
That's a lesson learned.
Oh, big time. And so I believe it was the next year. I was like, you know what? So we talk about sports betting, right?
Okay.
The next year. So it was the summer. So we lost in February or January, right? AFC Championship game in Kansas City. Had home field advantage. I remember going to this casino in Delaware. So I'm based in Virginia. I live in Alexandria. Went out to Delaware, this casino. I said, I would put some money on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, right?
Gotcha.
Like I said, we just lost. Tom Brady won it again at that time, New England. And I said, went to the casino. I said, I want to put some money on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Gator got some cash. I'll never forget. He looked at me. He said, "The Chiefs? like, are you sure?" Right? And I was like,
"Absolutely, I'm sure."
Like, yeah, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, amazing season. We play the 49ers in Miami, against Jimmy Garoppolo. We're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. I'm like, a lot of people are like, this game is over. Now the clip is famous where Mahomes goes to Eric Bieniemy. Shout out to Bieniemy, and he says, "Do we have time to run Wasp?" Right, this play called Wasp, and then like Tyreek Hill, who was the chief at that time, goes down the middle, cuts outside. Anyway, they ran that play, huge reception down the middle. The rest is history. The Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl. So that was like February. A few months later, I drove back to Delaware to collect my money.
Right, collect your money.
Give me my money.
My money. I got you, player.
So the next year, I think we went again. We lost to Tampa. Then we played again, and we lost to Joe Burrow in Kansas City, which will bring us to the fort, right? They lost in that Super Bowl. The Bengals lost to the Rams, which I was very happy about that because whatever. And that Cincinnati chili is trash.
Whoa. Well, that Super Bowl was the reason we got Jared Goff.
Exactly. Yep.
That was the reason we got Jared Goff because I think I ain't mean to cut you off in that story.
No.
I talk about that 1-for-1 trade.
Yep.
I tell people all on my show every time I talk about it. That was the best thing for Jared Goff and McVay to break up because it gave us Jared Goff.
I agree.
They gave us Jared
for
Goff.
sure.
So anyway,
Yep.
go ahead, continue, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more
Yeah.
anyway.
So I remember then, like the following year, we were doing good, and I said, I'm like, you know what? I think the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl again, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, it was plus 600. So if you're a gambler, like you put down 100, you win 600. So the odds were plus 600, and it was in the summer. I told my
Right.
buddy, I said, you know what, dude? I said, I'm about to put $1,000 down. Like, that'll win me a six grand, right?
Put your money where your mouth is,
Right,
Shay.
right. Well, hold on. For some reason, now I forgot to do it. I didn't do it
Oh,
right. No, like I'm
hey,
keeping it real.
opportunity missed.
No, I'm
Opportunity
no,
missed.
I swear I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I'm like hitting myself in the head. We beat the Eagles that year. By the way, we were down 2 scores in that game too. We were down 20-10
Okay.
or so in the second half. And so, I've learned this lesson. So fast forward to this year in
Okay, I'm
of
listening.
July of 2024. First off,
Mm-hmm.
I love the Lions last year against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, right?
Okay.
I was rooting for y'all. I thought you had a lot of advantages. I thought you could have won that game and frankly should have won that game, right? Your coach, Dan Campbell, I love him. The players love him. His enthusiasm, his passion is crazy, right? He's got guys ready to run through a brick wall for him, right? I get it. I get it. Um, and I was like, okay, the Lions going to win this game. Going forward on those fourth downs when he could have took the field goals. I mean, look, hindsight's 2020. You could say, yeah, I love the call. In the moment, right? I love the call. But if that call doesn't work out, then you got to face the consequences. And that's what happened. And so it didn't work out. There was no first downs, no touchdowns. Ended up losing that game. So, and the rest is history. The 49ers played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We're down again, a couple scores. It goes overtime. Mahomes throws a touchdown and McCole Hardman, Super Bowl champs, back to back. The first time in 20 years, back to back. All
Yep.
right. So that was February 2024. Now, the summer. I said, all right, I'm looking at the odds. No team in the history of the NFL has ever three-peated. It's never happened. Looking at the roster, and at the time, all our guys were healthy, right? We had Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, Kelsey's back, Pacheco, offense, Chris Jones, defense is solid on the Chiefs, right? I'm like, we got a good chance. The core is there. Of course, we still have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. What else do you need? So I'm like, the Chiefs are going to go back to Super Bowl. In fact, we're going to win it. I'm like, but NFC, who can I pick to win NFC? Going
Mm-hmm.
back, looking at the records, looking at scenarios, looking at the coaching, the upcoming records. I said the Lions. It's got to be the Lions. It's going to be the Lions. My thinking is that, all right, Dan Campbell, he's aggressive. He goes for it on fourth down. Probably, I think, more than any other coach in the NFL, right? I'm like, all right, when it comes to the playoffs, though, he'll learn his lesson, whatever the case may be. I'm picking in July of 2024. I'm picking the Chiefs to play the Lions in the Super Bowl, right? Who are the number one seeds right now in both conferences?
The people you
Chiefs
picked.
and the Lions. Number one seeds, right? So
Do
far,
you know
so
the
good.
percentage on that? Do you know the percentage on them to win the Super Bowl when you're the number one
Dude,
seed?
I tell you one thing. When I
It's
put in
52%. 52% of the
right,
time, the
right,
number one
right,
seed wins the Super Bowl.
right.
Go ahead.
When I put in my wager at that time, it was like plus 3,000, right?
Woo!
With you put in $100, you win 3,000, right? Now it's
Uh-huh.
like it might be like plus 600 or something, right? It's like dropped because it's more likely to happen, right?
Right.
So
But when you put it in, though,
it was like
it
plus
was peak
3,000.
time.
Yep,
Yeah, you got to take
yep,
that chance. So, what are the
exactly.
keys? What are the keys for you guys to get there then? Because
Yeah,
I know a
yeah,
lot of people were talking
yeah.
about our defense until
Yeah.
we did what we did against, or the Detroit Lions did what they
Mm-hmm.
did
Mm-hmm.
against Minnesota. And
Oh yeah.
I tell people, because I called into the ticket,
Yeah.
97.1 the ticket, and
Yeah.
I let them know what was on my mind prior to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, since you know, and he did. He said he used the term that you just used.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're excited. You're enthusiastic and passionate.
Yeah.
And he tried to throw it off like I didn't know what I was talking about. But I
Right.
told him Terrion Arnold is gonna step up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told you know, and the thing is Robertson,
Mm-hmm.
he locked Jordan Jefferson down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was balling. There's a lot of things that I think fans who truly follow football like and appreciate about the Lions, right? One, you guys have built so much of your team through the draft, right? Just drafting amazing, like just stud players, right? And that's not easy. That's difficult because a lot of players just don't work out, right? But
Right.
your GMs, your scouting department has selected straight
Well,
up
see, hey,
ballers.
Holmes,
Yeah.
hey, no, like you got to realize, and I'm going to say this because, you know, our narrative this year and last year,
Mm-hmm.
the 8 games that we won at the end of 2022
Yeah.
was so critical to their psyche because at the
Yeah.
end they played Green Bay. When they played Green Bay and it was for nothing,
Yeah.
it still was something for them.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the attitude that they took into that 23 season.
Yep.
And just going back to that NFC championship game,
Mm-hmm.
if you stand up and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's how you are, then that's how you are. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it to you like this. I done won many a times. I done lost too. And the thing is every time I lose or every time I face adversity and I don't necessarily perform at the highest level, or I do perform at the highest level and I still lose, I still know I'm blessed. So I'm not really I'm gonna take what I can from it and learn from it.
Exactly.
So, and that's why this year, like I said, I'm gonna let you get to it, but that's why this year I agree with you. I think that it's a special year. The narrative is one pride, and the thing is we've had a lot of different things happen. Mainly Jahmyr Gibbs coming into his own, and actually, no, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Because they had Barry at the field. I had that in some of my exclusive content that I think I sent you.
Yep.
Right. I know. I didn't send that to everybody.
Right.
I sent that to some special close. Hey, if you subscribe to the channel, if you subscribe to the channel, you support the channel. When you come to the channel,
too, for sure.
Guess what? You get exclusive content.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, the hotspot is about giving back. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just my experience. This is moments for everybody. But what I'm saying is Jahmyr had the opportunity to break a couple of different records by Barry.
Yeah.
You know what record that I don't think a lot of people know that he broke? That was Barry's.
Yeah.
The most 20-yard plus touchdowns from scrimmage.
Yeah.
He broke that.
Oh,
that was Barry's record.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize
that. Was Barry's record also, the touchdowns. But then also, Barry broke it from further than 20 yards too. And you know what? In that game, Jahmyr, so what I'm saying is he took over the torch. We don't have to refer to Barry every time we refer to the Detroit Lions, or we don't have to refer to, let's say, Herman Moore, or we don't have to refer to Megatron. We can refer to Amon-Ra. We can refer to Jared Goff. We can refer to J-Mo. We can refer to now as our premier running back, even though Montgomery is a intricate part of that, a very strong, because he was brought over from Chicago before Jahmyr. And then the thing is they got rid of Swift, DeAndre Swift. And I was really like, well, DeAndre and Montgomery, that might be a weird switch. But then they bring in Gibbs, and guess what? He's taking over that mantle of getting skinny in the holes and running off tackle and breaking 14 and 10-yard runs. And still, you know what? Even when Montgomery went down with his MCL, Jahmyr took over the goal line stuff.
Yeah.
So he let him know, like, hey,
he really did.
I get it with Montgomery, but I can do it. So, you know what I'm saying? Him breaking that record having 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown in that game. That
Yeah,
was so tremendous.
he
And
balled
then the
out.
thing is going back to what you were saying,
Hmm.
he took over that mantle. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you being able to bring that to
Oh,
life.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. So you
yeah,
got them both in the NFC. I mean the NFC and the AFC championship
for
game, getting
sure.
into those
Yeah,
through the Super Bowl.
yeah.
So what, like I said, what are your keys now? What are your keys? That's what we want to know.
Like, like, okay, being a for real Chiefs fan. So I'll talk Chiefs first, right?
Okay.
Honestly, honestly, the only team that can beat the Chiefs is the Chiefs.
Okay.
I truly believe that. And like the stats are proving we lost one game to Buffalo
Mm-hmm.
outside of the Denver game when we sat our starters, right? We can talk about that in a minute because people think we're hating on Joe Burrow when nobody even thinks about them at all. But
Hey, it's a lot of people that think about him because he's the only player besides Tom Brady to beat Patrick in the playoffs.
he's yep, that's a fact. Yep, and that was like ancient history. That was a long time ago, right?
Well, I mean, I'm saying he got hurt last year. He had the
Okay.
numbers this year. Him and Chase,
Oh, they had great numbers. They had great numbers,
but
right?
they didn't produce wins.
That's all that matters. Like again, I come from a long line of Chiefs fans who were disappointed a lot in the '80s, '90s, early 2000s, right? And so
Right.
for us, it was like, damn, can we win a playoff game? We lost to like Mariota. We lost to the Colts multiple times in the playoffs. One year we lost to the Steelers and they didn't even score a touchdown. They kicked like 6 field goals and we lost. You know what I'm saying? So I know pain. And so for them to be like, oh, the Chiefs are worried about Joe Burrow. We're not worried about Joe Burrow. He doesn't have any rings. They don't have
He
any
don't have
rings.
no rings.
They
He
don't
don't
have
even
it. The
have
whole
no
city.
championships. He
No,
don't have no championship.
no.
But
They,
okay, so you're not worried about the offense per se and Patrick
no.
Mahomes.
And so
So how
yeah,
about
right.
let's get on the
Yeah.
other side of the ball then. Let's say how your defense is doing. And I know
So there, yeah.
I know you're in kind of healthcare and you do this kind of stuff and you see
Right,
injuries
right,
and stuff.
right.
So what are you seeing or what are you saying about some of your
Yeah,
key defensive players or
yeah.
possibly your defense as a whole?
So what's happening now is, and this is a good question, right? We're starting to get healthy on both sides of the ball. So we had some guys injured on offense, right? Pacheco was injured for damn near probably most of the season. Luckily,
You talk
Kareem
about
Hunt came in.
Isaiah.
Yeah, on offense, right? We were
Hmm.
fortunate enough to pick up Kareem Hunt. He was with the team. We missed him tremendously. A lot of the fans love Kareem and wish he never left, honestly. But
He knows the system, though. He
he
knows the
went
system, and he ran
exactly.
hard. And
He
I think
came
that Andy
in.
Reid really believes in him.
Woo.
It's just,
Yep.
circumstance
Yep.
or whatever made him
Exactly.
leave or whatever. Go
Exactly.
ahead,
So I
continue.
mentioned that to say, we got Hollywood Brown back a couple games ago, a couple weeks ago. So he's back
Hmm.
in the offense. We were able to move Xavier Worthy back to his natural position. And you
Hmm.
saw how that offense clicked against the Texans and in particular against the Steelers. So you're talking about two playoff teams that we beat
Right.
pretty convincingly, like double digit, victories. And so that's offense, right? So we're back up to speed. We had lost a couple guys on defense, in particular some of our corners, right? So we were getting kind of badged at corner. On the one side, we
Okay.
have Trent McDuffie, who is an absolute dog. Like he's a dog. Like we love McDuffie. We love how hard he plays. He makes plays on the ball in terms of like deflections. He's ripping out balls, getting forced fumbles. Like he's a tackler. He's an absolute dog, right? All pro corner. The other side, we got a couple injuries on that side. And so throughout the season, the other side was struggling a little bit, right? We had some younger
Okay.
guys trying to fill in. And, we played some tough offenses. So we had some struggles on that side. But we're getting a couple players back. Joshua Williams in particular, who's a dog corner. He's coming back. He really stepped in at the beginning of the season when because we had lost L'Jarius Sneed, who shout out to
Hmm.
Sneed, Louisiana cat, went to Louisiana Tech,
Oh,
and
hey,
shout out to Sneed.
we know Tech.
We know Tech, so shout out to Sneed and his family and everybody down there in Louisiana. But we lost him, right? He went to the Titans, got an amazing contract offer. So, props to him and his
Gotta
family.
go. Gotta
But
go. Gotta
exactly,
get. Hey,
props.
take care of fam
You
first.
have to. That's generational wealth right there. And so, anyway,
Exactly.
so we had some holes to fill on that side of the ball. So we had injuries. We struggled a bit on that side, but we had some guys coming back healthy. If I had any concerns, it would have been that other side, that other corner. But I think we're going to be all right. So luckily for us and the Lions, first week bye, right? So we get
Right.
to sit back this weekend, have a cold one, some popcorn, whatever your beverage of choice is, whatever your snacks of choice.
And get at that and watch
Right.
that LA Houston Texans
Ooh.
game, right?
Oh, the
Okay.
Rams and Vikings.
Yeah,
Oh, the other
I
one
know what
too.
we
Oh, the
doing.
other the
So
other
you got
LA.
yeah. So
The
y'all
other
got the
LA.
Texans. Yeah, y'all got the Texans and the
Chargers. And
Chargers. That right.
yep.
So okay, so I got a quick question for you. This is a
Yeah.
quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think okay, so who do you have
Yeah.
in the Chargers versus the Texans game? I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
some things that I think about
Yep.
when I look at this game.
Okay.
The first thing I look at is the age of the coaches
Mm.
and their experience.
Yeah.
So on one end, you got Jim Harbaugh at
Yeah.
61
Yeah.
with a 26-year-old Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come back and you got another one that's a little bit different. It's the Houston
Yeah.
Texans, which y'all
Yeah.
already kind of beat pretty
Yeah.
bad, right?
Yeah.
Double digits, like you said.
Yep.
Uh D'Amico,
Yep.
he pretty young. He only 40.
Yeah. Young guy.
I mean,
Yep.
those guys in that age, that 36 to 40
Oh
age,
yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different style,
It
different
is.
approach.
Yeah.
But then you also got the youngest quarterback in the playoffs right now with
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud, who
Yep.
has playoff
Oh
experience,
yeah. Yeah.
as opposed to I think the coaching
Mm-hmm.
discrepancy where
Right.
Jim Harbaugh has already been to a Super Bowl with a young quarterback.
Yep.
And he took another young quarterback to the national championship twice and won one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's back in the pros, bringing another philosophy or more experience
Yeah.
to this level with a really premier quarterback. So,
Yeah.
when you see that game, what's your breakdown on that?
It's gonna be tough, man. I like what they're both doing in their respective organizations, right? So let's start with the Texans, right? Young
Mm-hmm.
team, a lot of talent. I like Mixon down there, running back. It's gonna be tough, and I love CJ, man. I like the way he approaches the game. It's going to be tough for them only because they've had so many injuries on offense, specifically at wide receiver, right? So he lost Tank Dell in the middle of the season. He had that tough injury to the other receivers. Um, I think Nico Collins now is going to be their star receiver. They're thin at that position. They're really really thin at that position. And
Well, I
I
mean,
think
Nico Collins, though, man.
yeah, no, he's a beast.
That
He's a
young
beast. Don't
man,
get me wrong.
boy, that young man right there,
Yep,
he
he's a
pulling double
beast.
shift at night.
Yeah, he's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to struggle at that position. And to the flip side, the Chargers are I think pretty much at full strength. Got a really strong defense. I like Derwin James at the safety position on defense. They have good pass rushers. I have to give the edge to the Chargers just for the
Mhm.
one for coaching experience. Like DeMarco Ryan, he's a young, talented, passionate coach. Players that run through a wall for him. We were talking about earlier, very similar to like a Dan Campbell, that defensive-minded coach with defensive NFL experience. But I have to give the edge to the Chargers just because they're dealing with fewer injuries and they have that deep experience at the coaching position.
So, who would you rather face?
Man, as a Chiefs fan, it doesn't really matter. I'm not even. It doesn't even matter. Honestly, it doesn't
uh-huh.
even matter. I can look.
Uh-huh. You don't think that they have enough I mean, because I mean, think about it. You have the oldest coach, you have the
Mm-hmm.
most seasoned quarterback, and the oldest coach coming
Right.
from Philly that's already lost a couple of Super Bowls with some great teams and great
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, and a
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Fame quarterback at that, Hall
Yeah.
of Fame receivers. So
Mm-hmm.
looking at these matchups,
Right.
I, do you think that they would be able to bring anything that might surprise you?
No, like okay, every Chiefs, like depending on the Chiefs fan you talk to, you'll get a different response, right? I think
Hmm.
the Bills are obviously very talented. Josh Allen can throw the ball 100 yards, and he can run 100 yards, right? It's very dynamic offense, very dynamic quarterback. A lot of talent on the Bills team, very
I'm not
passionate.
worried about them though.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean,
know when I
I'm not being mean about that. I just don't think that.
yeah
No, I just don't think Josh Allen has the fortitude to beat Patrick. And I'm
I
not saying that
mean
in a negative way. Not saying he
no
don't have
yeah
it. It's
yeah
just that I think that Patrick mentally
yeah
makes him get out of character sometimes because
I
of
agree.
how cool and calm and
Yep
how much he wins. Like I think it's
yep
like you're saying it, to Patrick. I don't even think it's a competition.
no,
I think
it's
it's
not.
more so a competition
Yeah.
for Josh, which makes him press. That's my opinion.
Look,
So you know what I'm
we're like the
saying.
big brother. We're like the big brother.
And
Like
it feels that way
we'll
sometimes.
mash
It
you in
feels
your
that way
face. We'll give
sometimes.
you a noogie. You know what I'm saying? We're like we'll grab everybody's head and give them a
Love you, man.
noogie.
I miss
Get out of
y'all that
here.
time.
Give me your sandwich. Give me those
I
chips.
know.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna dunk you
We'll
under
take
the
his lunch
water.
money. Right.
Yeah.
Dunking him. He's like about
So
to drown, calling for his mom.
yeah, it's like good job. Yeah, yeah, you can swim.
Right.
Um,
Right. But
um,
the team, I think so. We don't think about them. We're not concerned with them. They can't beat us in the playoffs. Not worried about them. I do think
right.
the Ravens are extremely dynamic. They're doing some
Hmm.
amazing things with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Right? They brought him
Of
in.
course, I
You
had him
know,
on my fantasy.
yeah,
I really would.
right,
You know,
right,
I'm gonna say one thing about
yeah,
Baltimore, and
yeah,
then I'm gonna move on.
yeah,
Um, MVP season again. Derrick Henry rushing for
yeah.
over 1,000 yards or whatever. You know, like this is his lowest running output season
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
his career,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying he's more efficient. They're saying he's more this, he's that. He's
Yeah.
had 1,000 yards passing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, or what? I think 2,000 actually,
Yeah.
the most he's ever had. So
Mm-hmm.
we see that he's changed it up a little bit. Of course, with the addition of Derrick Henry, that's
Right.
impossible not to do. You can't bring him
Yeah.
in and then not
And
feed him
not
the football.
exactly. Right.
So um, I'd have to say maybe this formula works for them.
Yeah.
They
It
haven't
seems to
gotten it
be.
right.
Right. Right.
Harbaugh, he hasn't gotten it right with Lamar. They're
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
same page. I just don't know which page they're going to bring out in the playoffs.
Well,
Because
yeah.
it's easier, I mean, because I think in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs, it's easier to shut down a
Yeah.
one-dimensional team.
I agree. I agree.
Because you're scheming for that team and that team only. You're not looking
Yep.
ahead. You're not looking in the past. You're looking at analytics. You're looking at tendencies. You're
Yep.
looking at all these things. And then also, again, the Kansas City Chiefs are like Mike Tyson in the 90s.
Right.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
mentality is like, man, we got to go in here and we know it's going to be, we got to watch out for that right
Exactly.
hook. Yeah. So,
And you know what? No, I'll just add to that because you're 100% correct. So, again, as a Chiefs fan, watching every game, I watch it multiple times, right? Literally. And so
mhm.
what you start to see happen is like Mahomes makes teams get out of character for real,
And that's,
right? So
uh-huh.
I remember watching the game, and all of a sudden the other offense, like they're going for it on fourth down. I'm like, dang, why are they going for it? They're on their own, side of the field. The game is tied or whatever. It's because they're scared that Mahomes is going to go down and score afterwards. So they're
Mhm.
like, we got to get as many points as we want. And I remember last year, the AFC Championship game, Kansas City against Baltimore. We were on the road twice. We beat Baltimore on the road. We beat Buffalo on the road. Then we had to go to Baltimore. And I remember it being like third and short, and we were probably leading at that time. And I won't forget this. They threw a pass, and I'm like, you got Lamar Jackson at the time. I don't even remember who the running back was. It's a good, solid running back last year. Whoever you guys can look it up.
Mhm.
But I'm like, third short, run the ball. Nope. Lamar drops back. He runs outside. He throws an incomplete pass. Right. They had a
Uh-huh.
punt, and then we scored again. So what happened was, dude, Mahomes makes offenses and offensive coordinators go out of character. They're so scared about him scoring points that they're like, we got to be aggressive. And then they mess up when they do that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So,
So I got a great point on that from this previous game that the Lions just played.
mm-hmm,
So this is the thing that I talked about, and it's
mm-hmm,
moments. It's absolutely moments. So the first moment that I spoke about earlier this week from the game, don't get me wrong, it was a great game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for Lions fans.
right, of
But in the
course.
first half, it was very, very tense. So what
Yeah,
happened is it was a 4th and 2. It was a 4th and 2. And Jahmyr Gibbs had already scored a touchdown, and
yeah,
we were already in, like moving the chains.
mm-hmm,
Going into the half, we had about 6 minutes left in the half. Second quarter, they won the coin toss. Going into the second half, they getting
yeah,
ball back.
right,
Mind you, it's already we've held them to a field goal,
mm-hmm,
right? We've held them to a field goal. We got 7 points. We going in for another score before the
right,
half. Maybe
mm-hmm,
not even gonna leave them no time because we moving the change and eating the clock.
yeah,
Jahmyr is running the ball good. One thing that I noticed before they even ran a play, because I knew they was gonna go on a fourth. I knew they
mm-hmm,
was gonna go on 4th down in this moment because they was on their side of the field. They was
yeah,
dominating the line of scrimmage. And the thing is we were moving.
right,
So the decision was made. I don't know if it was made on play call or if it was made on the line by Jared
mm-hmm,
Goff or what.
mm-hmm,
But when I looked at them come up to that, because he went under center.
yeah,
He went under center. Nobody over the nose.
mm-hmm,
I mean, it might have been 2. It might have, because they were doing 4th downs all
yeah,
game.
right, yeah, no,
And they were, to be honest with you, the refs was marking them short. It was horrible. But the
yes,
thing is they went for it. Nobody over the nose,
mm-hmm,
nobody over center.
yeah,
And they decided to drop back, play action pass.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Ball gets tipped, 4th down, ball goes the other way, no
right,
score. Now we're in danger of not getting no points and
right,
giving them the opportunity to end the half with a field goal or a touchdown,
yeah,
whatever,
and to make
putting
it
them
closer,
up at the
exactly,
half,
yep,
9-7.
mm-hmm,
The thing that everybody talked about that was so funny. And like I said, I talked about the defense and I said something about Terrion, about him having the most snaps man to man out of any NFL DB this year.
yeah,
Plus,
mm-hmm,
he did something else because you know what the best ability is, right?
availability,
Right. He started every game. He
yeah,
started every game this season. He went out of the game with a high ankle sprain, but I mean, I seen him on TikTok dancing and stuff, and he stayed good.
well, there's
So,
that, yeah,
I mean, but he was
right,
in a boot too. He was in a boot too. I'm not going to talk
uh,
nothing bad about him. He got 2 weeks. We got the bye week. We got the good win.
yep,
But this is what I'm going to say about that team, about the
mm-hmm,
defensive squad. One, my boy talked about it, special teams,
yeah,
right? They didn't have an opportunity to do nothing then. But guess what? They went out there and made that man miss that field goal. He missed
yeah,
that field goal
yeah,
going into the half. And that
yep,
put us in a situation where we came back and ended up Jake Bates hitting a 55-yard field goal
yep,
to put us up by 4 going into the half, where we picked that momentum back up,
exactly,
regardless
immediately,
of
yep,
what happened in that situational football. But
yep,
every play matters. So coming out in the second half, they held them to another field goal,
right, yeah,
even
pretty
when they got
much
an
shut down
interception.
their offense, exactly,
Hey,
yep,
no, Justin Jefferson only had 4 catches for 18 yards?
right, yeah,
Like his
locked
number.
down, he was locked
And then
down,
Terrion Arnold on the other side of the field, 1 catch for 0 yards. And I said this, how does that happen?
right,
Just,
right,
hey, Jordan Addison. No, seriously, Jordan Addison,
yeah.
I really like that guy. I
Oh,
think
he's a
he's a really
baller.
top tier,
Yeah,
second tier. Hey,
he's a
he is
baller.
the
Yep.
number 2 for sure.
Yep.
He can be a
Solid.
number 1 somewhere going
Definitely.
forward.
Definitely. Yeah, he's
So
solid.
for Terry for Arnold to shut him down to 0 yards, his number, man,
Yep.
that was big for us. And then and
Huge.
then Branch and that freed up Branch and Joseph to kind of do their jobs and kind of overwatch and look for opportunities.
Yep.
But then the key to our defense was Archuleta coming back because
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold, I'm sure he wasn't sure if he should study for him or not.
Well,
He was looking
he
at
should have done
no,
something.
I know because this is what happened. He
Yeah.
saw what Josh Allen did to
Mm-hmm.
the linebackers that a couple weeks back
Yeah.
when we lost our second
Mm-hmm.
game. He
Mm-hmm.
saw what Josh Allen did, but see, a lot of things that people don't realize is they brought in guys that were, previous linebackers, like
Right.
practice squad guys that knew the system, but they couldn't get them up to speed for a top tier quarterback
Yeah.
like Josh Allen. So
Mm-hmm.
they was trying to play guys on the fly. And you know what I'm saying? So that was a misconception that they're taped together, they're this, they're
Yeah.
that. And I
Yeah.
tried to let people know that every time that defense has met adversity,
Mm-hmm.
they've always stepped up to the challenge. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
to to what week 13, where what's that week 14, I want to say it was, where Jarrett threw 5 interceptions.
Oh yeah, I remember that week. Yep.
We won that game.
Yeah.
How you win that game if you
Right.
don't have
Right.
a strong defense?
Yep.
So, and the thing is it may not be, every starter, but it is
Mm-hmm.
next man up. And I think
Yep.
that and the special teams being a part of everything that the offense is doing,
Mm-hmm.
giving them good field position,
Oh
not
yeah, that's
making silly
huge. Yeah,
mistakes,
that's huge.
putting them in positions to win. Um, I think that it's a collective.
It
So when I
is. It
look
is.
at either playing Minnesota coming back,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
got to come back again. I was in there.
Right.
It was 118 decibels, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, it was shaking in there,
No,
man.
you could
It
tell
was
watching
such an.
TV.
But see, that's another thing about it. Sam Donald going into that game, I knew he was going to be shook.
Oh, he was shook. Like
Man, the reason I
he
say
needed
that
to
though,
calm down. He needed to
hey,
relax because he was
dog,
just like
they
overthrowing
was
every
ne- they,
single receiver.
They
Literally.
labeled it. He was overthrowing a lot. He had happy
Yeah.
feet, man. They was
Big
pressuring him
time.
like what? But that's what I'm saying. Archuleta took away his whoopee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hutchinson, he took him
Yeah.
away. So
Yeah.
now you got to find Justin. You got to go to your
Yep.
third read, Naylor.
Yep.
By the time that happened, the guys up front is on you.
Exactly.
They
He
like,
had
oh, he
no
holds
time
on to the
either.
ball.
That
They
pass
say he
rush was
holds on to
on
the
him.
ball because he
Yep.
get 4 and 5. He get 5 and 6 seconds all the
Yep.
time. So yeah,
Yep.
he got time to go through his progressions. But guess what? The
Yeah.
Lions was
Not
D'ing
on
up
not on
on the
Sunday.
outside.
Yeah.
You
Not on
bring in
Sunday
a
night.
linebacker that know where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He done had 3 weeks to watch this
Right.
dude
Right.
because he
Yep.
knew he was coming. It ain't no way he didn't know he was coming back when he got cleared the year 2 weeks prior. He
Right.
knew this was a
Right.
big game. They've been playing football. They've been playing playoff football since week 16.
Yeah, pretty much. And Sunday night was definitely a playoff game. That was a
Exactly.
playoff game, you know?
It was dubbed. It was dubbed the game of the decade. Man, it was for
Right.
all the marbles.
It really
It was for
was.
all the
Yeah.
marbles. And the good part about it is I'm not scared
Hmm.
of Stafford at all.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not scared because I already told you. I believe in Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I believe in his
Yeah.
leadership. I believe in Amon Ra. I believe in
Oh yeah.
his leadership.
Yeah.
I think that we got too much speed with Jameer Gibbs
Yeah.
and J-Mo. And then you throw Laporta in the mix, and our
Oh
offensive
yeah.
line, like Skinner and or Skipper and those guys and Decker and those guys,
Yeah.
man, they
No,
blocking up
your team
front.
is loaded. The offense is extremely loaded, extremely talented. A lot of ballers at every single position. Like it's a lot to
Mhm.
deal with. If I was a defensive coordinator going against your offense, I'd be up at night. I'd be up late at night.
Mhm. Well, the funny part about it is people are like, they didn't run a trick play because they ran a trick play in every game.
Yeah.
In every game, they've run a trick play.
Hmm.
Everybody's saying in the game against Minnesota, they didn't run one. You had to be there, bro. They was going for it on every fourth. No, listen to what I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Listen to what I'm telling
Yeah.
you. They're going for it on like every fourth down and whatever, right? I can't even remember if they punted. Yeah, they did. Right at the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
they punted once or twice.
Right.
So, in the first half, the offense really wasn't clicking that
Right.
well.
Yeah. It was a
They
much
had
closer game in
one
the first
really
half.
good march, and then, like I said, they made that situational
Hmm.
decision and
Hmm.
kind of that gave the ball back to Minnesota. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is they did not run a trick play per se.
Yeah.
When they was down, it was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in the
Hmm.
game, right?
Hmm.
They come up to the line on a 4th and 1 again, like
Yeah.
4th and 1, 4th and 2 again, something that was gettable.
Right.
Why Jared Goff get them with the cadence?
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. I remember that play.
Hey, and that's the thing. When them dudes jumped off, when they
Yep.
jumped off sides, they put their heads down.
Like, oh, he got us.
Yeah,
Got
like
him.
and then guess what they did as well, which was super funny. And somebody
Hmm.
pointed that out. He was like, they gonna go into a victory formation.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
man, that ain't what they was doing, bro. They conceded with a minute left on the clock.
Man,
Man, that gotta be tough, bro.
it's
And
gotta
so
be. It's gotta be.
hey, my boy said that Sam is my cousin actually. My
Uh-huh.
cousin Bam say, oh, Sam Donald, he ain't gonna come back from this. So he
I
thinking
don't
that
think
LA
so.
is just gonna take it.
Yep. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. I agree with you, cousin. I
yeah.
agree.
So
I agree.
that mental
It's everything.
hurdle is
Yeah.
always tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So,
It's everything.
I appreciate everything that you got. I appreciate you for coming on and all
Thanks.
of the
Yeah,
information that
definitely.
you gave these viewers
Definitely.
out here. I really pray that they have been listening and appreciate the knowledge that you brought to the hotspot. So right now, what I want to do is I know you got novels. I know you got
Yeah.
things going
Yeah.
on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, on my channel, man, I let people know I got motion. So let
Yeah.
me know what kind of motion you got going on, my man. Where can people
Yeah.
find you?
I've been fortunate enough to have now at this point, I think 4 novels published. You can Google Che Parker. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find all my books on Amazon. I'm a Simon Schuster author. Yeah, I have
What's
some
the
some great.
genre of those books, real quick? What's the genre of them books?
They're all slightly
Thriller?
different. Yeah, so they're all
Okay.
slightly different. So my first one, a gangster novel, gangster book, right? It's kind of like
Is that
Godfather.
Cicero Day? Is that Cicero Day?
That's Cicero. Yeah, the
Okay.
Tragic
Yeah, yeah,
Clause,
yeah.
Cicero Day.
Uh-huh.
And so that's gangster story set in my hometown, Kansas City. Shout out to Kansas City, Missouri.
Shout out.
And the next one is like a relationship story based on like
Mm-hmm.
September 11th. So it's got some depth to it, that sort of stuff. My third one is about like a little kid who becomes like a street artist, like Banksy doing street art and becomes famous that way. And then my most recent one is about a young little black girl. Is based in DC in the 90s, and she finds out that she has the power of telekinesis. And
Oh, that
so
sound good.
yeah,
That sound
so
real good.
that was
So that
those.
was more like a sci-fi.
Yep, sci-fi,
Yeah, like a
fantasy.
sci-fi thriller. That
Um,
sounds good.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, that sounds
all
real
of them
good.
are my babies. All of them are my children. I love them all very much. And so, you can
Uh-huh.
find me Che Parker, like I said, on Amazon, Instagram. Holla at your boy.
Uh-huh. Hey, that's great. That is it. You know what? I talked about you earlier. I talked about you earlier. So you got 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
So I know me and Ajax, we really want to read those books. So I was just asking if you could bless us with some autographs and
Absolutely.
let us get those books, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that way I can add them
Absolutely.
to my collection, man. I collect a
Definitely.
little bit of stuff, man. And
Yeah. I would
that
love
would
to.
be such a blessing if I could get
I'd
those
be more
from
than
you.
happy to do that for sure.
So I appreciate you being on the show. Like I said, I love the perspectives that you brought, and well, I'm gonna say go Lions, but I pray we meet up in the
I
Super
pray
Bowl,
for
man.
that too. Yeah.
From what you saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's what's gonna be the case.
I
So
think I think we
uh,
make it happen. We're speaking into existence now. So what we're gonna do is So what? Three weeks from now, a couple of right.
Oh, we'll be back.
Divisional
I'm gonna
weekend,
be, hey,
right?
as soon as
Wild
it
card weekend,
happens, you know what I'm
divisional,
saying? As soon
right?
as we NFC
Yep,
championship, hey, to be honest
yep,
with you, win or lose, man, will you come
yeah.
back and join the show?
All right, absolutely, 100%. I
Okay,
would love
good,
to. I
good,
would
good.
love
I'm
to.
happy that you was able to get on here today and
Yeah,
get your perspectives again. And you know what, man? I'll see you next time, man. Thanks for
I'll
joining
see
the
you.
hot spot.
Thanks for
Hey
having me.
guys, hey, out there in YouTube land, stream world, all of that. Continue to like, subscribe, and comment. I go on all the time. I'm hitting the live. I'm hitting the streets for you. I'm trying to find out what's going on with the Detroit Lions. I want to see what's going on with the Pistons. I'm gonna get back with them soon, but so much is going on with the Lions, and it's so electric. I gotta be on this stream talking about them. So if you like the content, ring the bell so you'll hit the notifications. Make sure that you are listening, commenting, and subscribing and liking. And to all the people out there that have done those things, thank you for the support. I'll be here. I'll be here all the time, bringing you the hottest content from the sports world on the hot spot with Cameron. Thank you. See you next time.